Hey guys, Novus here, and welcome to a different game. So, Best in Space Engineers going on. Haven't played this game for a few months, not since the new patch came out for the spin blocks, pistons, and so forth, where they changed the safety lock override. As I had many drills, and they all operated on timer blocks. Some of them, like, they'd use anywhere from like 20 to 60 timer blocks to end up running a full process of like a mining process, essentially, where it would actually run in multiple different stages. And there's an enemy coming. So I wanted to quickly show off a ship though, but first I guess I'll have to just quickly deal with this. Yeah, so since then they've come out with another update, and this update has changed the way that wheels work. And so, yeah, it should be interesting. They do control entirely different from how they used to. It used to be a case of it was really difficult to get wheels to really stay on the ground half the time. They were barely functional. It was just kind of a bit of a mess. Nowadays, not such a problem. So I'm just going to quickly try and break this so it doesn't come over and bug me while I'm doing stuff. But, yeah. So, pretty much I just sort of mucked around quickly last night at one point. Yeah. Wasn't feeling too great. Kind of didn't really feel like setting up or starting up a new ship just yet in from the depths. Sort of felt like mucking around with a bit of Space Engineers, so here we are. Don't really need this thing at this stage, so we can just kind of drop down and perfect. Alright, so yeah, just leave that thing there. So what it is, I kind of went over to this base and went, you know what, let's just load up their basic vehicle there, because I had vehicles that I sort of mucked around with before, but it was when like the vehicles were really difficult to work with, so I was fairly certain they weren't going to be anywhere near as effective as something that was sort of built in like this. So I kind of just quickly welded together this little vehicle here. I had a quick gaze at it, drove it around a bit, I was like, yeah, that's not too bad. Let's muck around with it a bit. So I came out with a couple of different models. Whoops. So I'll go with, bring this one out first. So yeah, it's basically the same thing. I've just kind of put a couple little features on. Made it go a bit quicker and turned the friction level way down. And yeah, what you kind of end up with is sort of this weird little drift vehicle. Now, not only can it drift out there on the ice, but as far as I'm aware, you can also totally drift out here on the grass, which is pretty cool. It's good fun. We can kind of whip it around and have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, the computer does not like it though. On the other hand, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, brakes, brakes, we don't have brakes. Okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, the only issue with this thing is trying to get it from place to place, I guess, because it, ooh, okay, yep, can't slow down even if it needs to, but let's speed it out on the ice, kind of just flog it around and have a bunch of fun. On top of that, they should now be on, so yeah, you don't actually need the large booster on the back on until you need to sort of change your direction to some degree, sort of build momentum in a new direction. For the most part, those two little thrusters should be enough to sort of keep you moving relatively quickly around on the ice, and you can kind of get about. It's not too bad. So it was just sort of something to muck around with. So I'm kind of try and stop it now with the thrusters. Alright. So now I'll show you the other one I was mucking around with. And this is something that could actually be used. It just needs a couple little modifications, and it does use one modded part in it though. The reason for this though is genuinely just because there was a small issue. There was something it was meant to be really good at, and it is, and that's wall climbing. Small problem is that it'll kind of detonate sometimes, so I sort of thought, you know what, I'll set up an alternative way of getting over mountains just for now. Alright, so currently the handbrakes are on. If we push forward it'll kind of do nothing, and then if we hit this button she'll start trying to go forward. And you hit this button and you see the vehicle lurch forwards. I thoroughly enjoy that. So yeah, gets up to speed very quickly. You basically only need your booster every now and then, and only so much. This thing moves better on the ice. I mean, it can still drift and so forth, but it may end up flipping itself or doing something weird because the traction is set much higher on this vehicle. Same time, it's also got something I decided to chuck in that I felt that it needed, and find somewhere real quick we can test this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that, I'm going to hit that, I'm going to try and do this. Alright, so she can totally fly. That was kind of what I had to put in just because getting over slash like getting up or down mountains sometimes just still kind of detonating. So it's like, you know what, I'll set this up so that way if I want to take it into survival and do stuff with it, I can. It's not gonna go blowing itself up or anything. But yeah, if I can find a good spot, and kind of show you what I was talking about though, it will detonate eventually, but it'll also do something really cool first, hopefully, if I can find a good spot. So yeah, just give me a sec and I'll see if I can find the right place to do this. Hey guys, so I was thinking I'll take it over to this mountain here. It should be fine. It should be steep enough on the side of this somewhere, so that I can kind of show you what I was talking about. Now, the mod part would be wings. I have put wings onto the sides of this craft, just little ones. You can see them, they're black and they're right there, and they're on either side. It just gives it the ability to glide to some degree. So with dampeners off at this stage, if I kind of level that out sort of a dealio, yeah, we won't lose speed. We'll kind of just glide along, and we're still technically falling, but what's happening is we're also simultaneously from that momentum generating lift via the wings, and it's sort of proportional to our speed, so therefore the more we drop, the more speed we gain, the more we lift, and therefore it just becomes forward momentum instead of downward momentum. It's weird, it kind of works though. Alright, so dampeners back on. Let's try this real quick. It's kind of overshot the mountain I was meant to land on there. Alright, let's turn that back off. Now, the one thing to really try and remember with this is speed is very important, because speed equals lift. So if you want to be able to come down gently, I don't know how I'm going to land on the side of that mountain now, actually. It's going to be a bit difficult. Yeah, you do need to be going relatively fast, and the faster you're going, the softer you will actually hit the ground. Oh god, tree, tree, tree! Okay, we're good. It lands fairly gently when it comes down to it. It's just very troubling when it leads up to it. So we've kind of got, yeah, we can turn those little booster thrusters on the back there on and off, so as to adjust our speed to some degree. It handles beautifully, by the way. Like out here on the ground, it can get up to speed and still be handling really really well, so I'll probably show that off in a minute. But it doesn't roll unless it's on like a mad angle at the time, and it's got to be a little bit careful with that occasionally, but for the most part it should be fine. So it can totally wall climb, or it should be able to. You can have the little boosters on the back on when you're doing so, or you can turn them off and sort of go into like a low gear mode, but while that would help you control your speed to some degree to make sure you don't shear any bits off of the vehicle on jagged parts like this and so forth, it will make it a bit difficult when you get onto a really steep part in terms of not sort of rolling back down the hill. So if you, whoops, turn those on, yeah, the dampeners will kick in, and it, for the most part, should prevent you from rolling back down a hill. Alright, so let's try and get... Wait, was it this mountain? Should probably go for that one, really. Oh, well, it's fine. Alright, so we're going to kind of wiggle our way up here a bit. So yeah, you can probably see already it's already stuck to the side of a mountain, sort of. But let's see if we can make this a bit better. Now, warning, it'll detonate occasionally when it does this. I don't know why. It seems to be something to do with the way that it glues itself to the wall. But it just really does not like it. It'll be fine, it'll be chilling out, it'll just be sitting on the side of a mountain for a while, and then suddenly, boom. So, just a heads up, I guess. Yeah, it should be good enough. Okay, handbrake on. Ooh. It doesn't seem to be holding quite as well as it did before. There we go. Alright. Seems alright. Now it does have a couple wheels, like a wheel off the ground over here, and so it's on a little bit of an angle as well at the moment, but yeah. This is normal, sort of straight level. That's how the vehicle's sitting. So yeah, it can kind of just be parked on, it can be parked on like a straight up vertical. I had it actually sharper before, but it kind of seems like, I don't know if it's the batteries or if it's the storage container or what. I did want to rebuild this, like I was going to build my own design for it. I just wanted to use this thing as a test model to sort of see, like, what can we do with the wheels now, you know what I mean? And then build dedicated vehicles to do each of these things, but I gotta say, this thing's pretty... Whoa. Okay, well that was different, and it probably didn't help that I was under the craft at the time. But there goes that back wheels. They just busted off. I think we may have busted that front wheel off as well. Yeah. Okay, so the wheels just collapsed off of it. Whoops. Okay, let me... I don't know... how this is gonna go. Let's try moving around a bit. Oh god, that wheel's still attached to us somehow. Like it's not, but it is. There we go. Oh god. Oh god. Careful now. Careful. Park it. Gonna try and put some wheels back. So yeah, if anything like that goes down, you go into here, you can hit add wheel, and yeah. Then you can detonate horribly. Well. Oh well. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near as sudden and devastating as it was last time, because I had no idea it was going to happen. And this thing just looked... Really? This survived? We're just in here now. Alright, so, yeah. At least we would have survived the fall, I guess. Yeah. It kind of has a bad habit of doing that. First time that happened, it was incredibly shocking. I damn near had a heart attack because I was just sitting next to it. I wasn't touching it in any way, shape, or form like I was just then. And I was just enjoying the view, staring at it like flat against the side of a mountain. And I was like, hell yeah. And then boom, out of nowhere it just explodes and I just broke. Yeah, so let's take it out somewhere where we can sort of drive it around a bit and check out its speed. So I'll be back in a sec. So, one of the decent advantages to putting the wings on this vehicle, by the way, as you can see in the bottom right, is 0 power usage when you're gliding, which is pretty damn useful. So third fly back over here, so I sort of had a marker for exactly where this area was, and I know this terrain is fairly flat. I mean, we're still going to have plenty of bumps and stuff, but for the most part, the terrain over here should be relatively flat. The best part is, we shouldn't have to touch a thing, we should be able to just straight up land, and then we can start hitting buttons. Other than that, we should be able to just, unless this tree, like, just destroys us. Oh, that tree. Okay. The second we hit it, just turned. I mean, I probably could have turned away from it, but it's fine. That's the dampeners on. Okay. So, hit that as well. That should lock us to the ground. And you can actually see that kick in as well. So you can see the suspension drop. And, yeah. Alright. So, yeah, standard drive modes. This is without the big booster on the back or whatever. Takes a little while to get up to speed just because of the downforce. Now at the same time, something you can totally do to make that a bit quicker is you can actually have your downforce turned off. As you can see, you can get up to speed a lot quicker, but the vehicle gets tossed around a bit more. And then you can sort of turn your downforce back on once you get up to speed a bit. And then it should, whoa, 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 make a liar out of me much. Really? Really? I'm trying to do something here. Okay, so, yeah. If you're on a little bit of a hill or an angle or anything like that, it still does seem to tip itself over. I'd love to set up better balancing. The problem is, to really do that, what would be necessary is to take... Yeah, let me get away from this thing real quick. See, that booster will shoot you up to speed, by the way. You can still totally glide like this, even with your downforce thrusters on, but that's just turning them off if you're going to glide. Decent distances, yeah, you can totally just glide over, and then come back in for a landing wherever you need to. Now, yeah, if you're on any kind of an angled surface, it will still try to flip, so be relatively careful with that, I guess, is the only thing I can say. Tested it a bunch last night, and for the most part, it shouldn't have an issue with that, but occasionally, you might. Yeah, it's a little crazy, it's a little difficult to control sometimes, but it's pretty good. Once it just gets out there and going straight across like a relatively flat surface, I mean, I was driving around for like 10 minutes at a time last night, just sort of testing it out, seeing how quick it went across the surface, and just sort of having fun with it, to be honest. That was before I put the wings on. I mean, with the wings on, it can now do this. Whereas before it was kind of just launching itself over jumps and then eventually, oh god, landing. Yeah, so those back on. We should be able to drive normally. I mean, it was doing so last night at least, but that was again before I put the wings on. The wings might be affecting it in that regard. So I might even set it up without the wings again at some point, but one thing I can do for now to test it Oop. Right. Should be enough distance between us. I hope so. We've also totally got headlights and high beams, so we can have like the not so bright light on the front there, or we can just flood it with the big, yeah, high beams. All right. So wings off. Hang on, let me go to this. So yeah, just simple little wings at the back there, and you give it good lift though, as you can see. And now it shouldn't be able to do that, but hang on, what am I doing? Hit that button. There we go, get it up to speed. Alright, yeah, but it should be able to handle fairly well across the surface. I mean, this ground's a little uneven and I'm turning in the worst direction for that kind of level of terrain. I mean, turning in the other direction would be fine, turning uphill, but turning downhill not so much. The main way that honestly I'd be able to fix this would require something I don't know how to do in this. Unless I was to maybe try and use the programmable block. I don't know how else I'd be able to do it, but what I want to happen really is if I hit left to turn to the left, I'd like to set up so those two left-hand thrusters would kick in and push the left side of the vehicle down. I mean, sorry, no. If I turn left, the right-hand side, push down. No, left, yeah, that's the right. Okay, so yeah, if I turn to the right, then the right-hand side would be switching on, and it would be pushing those wheels down, as you can see. They kind of flick up, and vice versa. And it would basically just be to stick the vehicle to the ground. To be honest, the best way I'd be able to do that would be sort of just have it detecting as it was lifting, sort of dealio, and just simply increase the override thrust on those thrusters, because none of them are set to full yet. Now, if I was to turn them up, from there to say 40, we've got a lot more downforce now. So let's see how she handles. Whoa. Okay, so right up until that moment there, it was good. Okay, roll. There we go. Okay, alright. I don't even know how the hell I managed to keep it on two wheels, well, three wheels for so long there. But yeah, so it'll stick to the surface damn well. It's just the second it hits like a mad hill or anything, that's when you sort of suddenly gain the ability to flip it over. More downforce could still fix that, but then you would need more acceleration. That's when you sort of start needing things like the big thruster at the back there. And then you kind of zip around like no tomorrow. So yeah, this is just meant to be a big booster though, to sort of take off with when we first need to gain speed, because you see how much acceleration it gives you. And then once you hit there, you just boom, turn it off, boat your uncle. Off you go. Even without the wings, like you can kind of. Whoa! That was gonna work. Well, I tried. Forgot this thing exists around here. I ran into it a couple of times last night as well. It kind of pops up on you out of nowhere. But yeah, so I don't know. I was thinking I might start up a survival campaign. So I don't know. If you want, you guys let me know what you think. I was thinking, and I'm going to keep doing From the Depths, but what I might try and do is sort of do one day of Space Engineers, one day of From the Depths, back and forth sort of video. Because at the moment, it means that if we're going to be working on any craft, if I'm going to be showcasing anything or anything else, there's still going to be a survival series going on in the background at the same time, if you get what I mean. So when there's episodes of From the Depths, like it has been lately, where there's just lots of building on vehicles and there's not really any survival actually going on, I'll have Space Engineers up and running, and we'll sort of be getting around and doing what we need to do in that. And then when we're building vehicles in this or whatever, we can be playing From the Depths campaign and so forth. So I don't know, kind of thinking it'll just give us something to do on the side. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And those thrusters back on. But yeah, it moves at like 40 k's normally without the... Ooh, Rooster's running. But then it gets around fine that way. Once we put the boosters on, that's when it sort of gets up to speed. My god, you just kind of pound across the surface. To be fair, we are moving at a decent speed. So to be able to turn like this and not roll is like pretty decent. This is reloaded, so I haven't boosted up the downforce again. This is just standard downforce if it's on level terrain. Second it hits any kind of a hill, that's when things get a bit more interesting. But yeah, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, hopefully I can get a survival mode going and have a bit of fun. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good one, guys. I swear, I just can't stop driving this thing. It's so much fun. Look at this.